The Dragon's Breath Dojo was a special place. It was like a quiet island in the middle of a very noisy city called Hong Kong. This part of the city, called the Kowloon District, was always busy. There were bright lights, loud cars, and lots of people. But the dojo was calm. Its wooden walls were old but strong. It stood quietly, between street food stalls selling hot dumplings and small roads filled with zooming motorbikes. Inside the dojo, people trained hard. They punched, kicked, and moved with focus. It was not just a place to fight. It was a place to grow stronger on the inside. The students learned to be brave, kind, and full of discipline. The heart of this dojo was a young man named Jian. He was 28 years old. Jian was amazing at Wing Chun, a special kind of kung fu. His hands moved super fast, like a storm. He could punch so quickly that it looked like magic. But Jian didn't just have fast fists. He had a sharp mouth too. He liked to tease others and show off, and sometimes, his words hurt more than his punches. Jian was born in this rough neighborhood. He didn't have an easy life. His father was mean. He always told Jian that he was weak and would never be good at anything. Jian wanted to prove his father wrong. Every time he trained, every time he won a fight, it was like shouting, "I'm not nothing. I'm strong." But Jian had a problem. He was proud, too proud. He thought he was the best, and that made it hard for him to see when he was wrong or needed help. That night, the dojo was full of life. The smell of strong medicine filled the air. Students shouted as they practiced their moves. Their punches made loud thump-thump sounds against wooden dummies. At the front of the room sat Master Lao, the old teacher. He was small and thin, but his eyes were sharp like an eagle's. He watched everything closely. Jian was sparring, which means practicing fighting, with a younger student named Min. Jian moved fast, punching with speed. He knocked Min back with ease. "Too slow, Min," Jian said with a big grin. "You want to keep up with me? You have to move faster." The students laughed. They were used to Jian showing off. But suddenly, something happened that made everyone stop. The big wooden doors of the dojo creaked open. Everyone turned to look. A man walked in, and just by stepping inside, it felt like the air changed. He had big shoulders and no hair. His head was shiny under the soft lantern lights. His eyes were bright blue and very serious. He looked around the room, calm but strong. Someone gasped. "That's Jason Statham." Yes, it was Jason Statham, the famous movie star. He was in a lot of action movies where he fought bad guys and always won. He was strong, fast, and very cool. But he wasn't just a movie star. Jason really knew martial arts. He had trained for many years. He wore a simple black GI, a kind of training outfit, and carried an old duffel bag. He looked like someone who had been through many adventures. The dojo was silent. Everyone whispered, "Is that really him? It's the guy from the movies." Jian felt nervous. He had watched Jason's movies many times. He had seen him fight groups of enemies like a superhero. But now, Jason wasn't on a movie screen. He was standing in his dojo. This dojo was Lewis's world. He had built his name here. He had earned respect here. And now, this big movie star had just walked in. Jian knew Jason was not fake. Jason had real skills: Wing Chun, kickboxing, and even jiu-jitsu. He had trained a lot, just like any fighter. But still, Jian's pride was burning. He remembered his father's voice calling him weak. He wanted to prove himself. He didn't want to be forgotten next to a big star. Master Lao stood up. His face was calm, but his eyes were sharp. "Mr. Statham," he said, "it is an honor to have you here. Are you here to train?" Jason nodded. His voice was calm and friendly. "Evening, Master Lao. I just want to move a little, keep the rust off. Nothing big." He stood easy, but his body was ready, like a sword hidden in a sheath. Jian stepped forward. He crossed his arms and gave a smirk. "Just work the mats?" Jian said. "This isn't a gym, Statham. You want to train here, you spar. That's how we do it." His voice sounded playful, but his eyes were serious. He was challenging Jason. Jian didn't just want to fight. He needed it. He wanted to show everyone, and himself, that he could fight someone as famous and skilled as Jason Statham. The students began whispering excitedly. This was not just any spar. This was going to be epic. Jason smiled a little. House rules, huh? He said with a little laugh. All right, mate. 1 round. Fair and square. His voice was friendly, but his eyes were sharp. He was reading Jen, trying to understand him. Master Lao looked at them both. He said quietly, Jen, remember to respect your opponent. Real skill doesn't care about fame. Jen nodded, but he couldn't calm down. In his head, he still heard his father's voice. You're nothing unless you prove it. The mats were cleared. Everyone moved back to form a circle. Some students pulled out their phones to record the spar. Others whispered and made small bets. The dojo lights made long shadows. The air was heavy with excitement. Jen and Jason stood facing each other. They didn't speak. They just watched. It felt like lightning could strike at any second. Jen took his Wing Chun stance. His knees were bent. His hands were ready in front of him. He looked like a spring about to jump. Jason looked more relaxed. His arms were down, but his balance was perfect. His body was calm but strong, like water ready to move. The fight began. Jen shouted and dashed forward, his fists moving fast. He used the chain punches, a fast and strong attack from Wing Chun. He was fast, really fast. But Jason didn't panic. He moved smoothly. He stepped aside again and again. He used his arms to block and deflect the punches. It was like Jen was fighting air. His punches missed or only touched Jason a little. The students watching were amazed. Jason was calm like a mountain. He didn't even look tired. Jen got angry. He kicked low, aiming at Jason's leg to make him lose balance. Jason took the hit and barely moved. Then he threw a quick jab, a small punch that touched Louis' cheek. It didn't hurt much, but it stung. It was a reminder. You are not the only strong one here. Jen felt heat rise in his face. No one had ever landed a punch on him in his dojo. He felt embarrassed. He got even more angry. He shouted and rushed forward again, punching faster and harder than before. His fists were a blur. He wasn't just fighting Jason now. He was fighting all the bad things he had ever felt. His father's cruel words. The years of feeling not good enough. All that pain came out in every strike. His punches were wild and full of fury. But Jason was calm. He moved with skill. He didn't fight with anger. He waited, blocked, dodged, and used Jen's energy against him. It was not just a fight of fists. It was a fight of hearts. A fight of who they were inside. Jason moved like the wind through the storm. He didn't rush. He didn't fight wildly. Every step he took was sharp, like the moves he learned from kickboxing. Every hold and turn he made was like jiu-jitsu, quiet, strong, and smart. He didn't hit first. He waited. He watched. He moved like a tiger waiting to pounce on its prey. The fight went on longer than Jen thought it would. Sweat ran into his eyes, and his chest moved fast from all the heavy breathing. But he didn't stop. He didn't want to lose. Jen tricked Jason by pretending to move to the left. Then he kicked high, aiming at Jason's ribs. This move had made bigger, stronger fighters fall before. But Jason didn't fall. He caught Jen's leg under his arm. Then he twisted fast, throwing Jen off balance. Jen stumbled, but he got up again quickly. Before he could do anything else, Jason stepped in closer. He grabbed Jen's wrist, spun him around, and swept his legs out from under him. Jen hit the mat hard. The air rushed out of his lungs like someone had taken it away. Before he could get up, Jason had already put him in a strong armbar. It hurt Jen's arm and elbow, but Jason was careful not to hurt him too much. It was like a lesson, not just a fight. Tap, Jason said quietly but firmly. Jen didn't want to. He was angry. His pride told him to keep going. But the pain told him something else. He tapped the mat. The dojo was silent. The sound of the tap was loud like a gunshot. Jason let go right away. He stood up and offered his hand to help. Jen didn't take it. He got up on his own, his face full of anger, sadness, and something else, fear. He had lost. Not just the fight. He lost something bigger, something inside him. Everyone had seen it. His students, his teacher, the crowd, even people with phones recording every moment. In his head, Jen heard his father's voice. Weak. Nothing. Failure. Why did you even come here? Jen shouted, his voice shaking. Why? Why did you come here? To humiliate me? To show everyone you're better than me? His fists were tight. His chest rose and fell quickly. The loss felt heavy, like he was holding a mountain on his back. All his life, he worked hard to be the best. He thought he couldn't be beaten. But now, everything felt like it was falling apart. Jason fixed his GI. His face was calm, maybe even kind. I didn't come to humiliate anyone, mate, Jason said. You asked for the fight. I just said yes. He looked right into Jen's eyes. Eyes full of fire, pain, and confusion. You're good, Wei. Really good. But you're not just fighting me. You're fighting something else too. Master Chun stepped forward. His voice was sharp and clear, like a sword. Wei, he said, you challenged a man who didn't owe you anything. He didn't come to hurt you. He showed respect. But your pride made you blind. You need to learn from this. Or one day it will break you. Master Chun turned to Jason and gave him a respectful nod. You fight like someone who knows how much each hit means, he said. Jason gave a little shrug. Something passed through his eyes. A memory maybe, or sadness. I've been doing this a long time, he said. It helps me stay honest. Then he turned back to Jen. His voice became gentle. This place, these mats, they're real. No cameras, no scripts, no pretending. That's why I'm here. Same reason as you. The crowd slowly left the dojo. Some were still filming. Others whispered about how Jason, the famous movie fighter, had beaten their champion. Jen stood in the same spot. His body hurt, but his heart hurt more. He wanted to hate Jason. He wanted to say it was unfair. But deep down, he knew the truth. Jason didn't fight to show off. He didn't try to hurt him badly. He held back, just enough to leave a lesson, not a scar. Jen's pride had made the spar into a real fight. And he lost because he wasn't fighting the right person. He had been fighting his own fear, his own doubts, not Jason. The dojo was almost empty now. But Jen stayed. He remembered every move from the fight. He played it back in his mind. His shoulder throbbed, but his heart ached more. He thought of his father. All the years he tried to prove he was strong. All the walls he built to hide how scared he really was. He had looked at Jason like a threat, a way to prove that he was still the best. But Jason didn't see him that way. Jason saw him as a fighter. Nothing more, nothing less. That respect stung even more than the loss. Jason was packing his bag, ready to leave. Jen walked up to him slowly. His steps were heavy. His voice was soft. I misjudged you, he said. The words were hard to say, but true. I thought you came here to show off, to make us look small. But you fought fair. Why? Jason zipped up his bag and put it over his shoulder. I don't fight for the cameras, Wei, he said. I fight to stay sharp, to remember who I am. Places like this, he pointed to the mat, the lanterns, the old scrolls on the walls. They're real. You don't get that in a movie studio. And you're part of this too. Don't forget that. Jen nodded. The words hit deep. He didn't see Jason as a star anymore. He saw him as someone just like him. Someone who wanted to find the truth in every punch, every move. You could have finished the fight faster, Jen said, almost a whisper. Why didn't you? Jason smiled. A small, sad smile. I didn't need to, he said. You're too good for that. Keep training. You've got fire. Then Jason left. The dojo felt quiet, but Jen felt a little stronger inside, like something heavy had been taken off his back. He stepped back onto the mat, alone. The lanterns above flickered softly. He began his training again. His punches were sharper. His stances were stronger. His breathing was calm. He wasn't fighting to prove anything now. Not for his father. Not for the crowd. Not even for Jason. He was fighting for himself. And in that moment, he felt unbreakable. The next morning, the dojo was full of noise again. People were talking about the fight. Clips of it were already going around online. But Jin didn't care. He trained harder. He moved with focus. His mind was sharp like a blade. Master Chun stood in the corner, watching. A rare smile appeared on his face. Jin had lost a fight, but he gained something greater. He gained humility, knowing he wasn't perfect. He gained fire, a new reason to grow stronger. And somewhere far away, Jason Statham was training too. Because the mat doesn't care about movies. It doesn't care about fans or lights. It only cares about the truth. If you enjoyed this story, let me know your thoughts in the comments. I love hearing from you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss out on the next thrilling adventure or mysterious twist. Thanks so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.